Sup? I am literally alive. Prove it. This could be pre-recorded. No, there's been no proof yet that this isn't pre-recorded. Previously on DougDoug. I need to open Photoshop. Hold on. Hold that. Previously on DougDoug. We had 3 AIs go through a giant roguelike adventure on... Actually, let me pull up the specific map. Where's the map? Hold on. Previously on DougDoug. We created 3 AIs who travel blah, 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 blah through a roguelike... Actually, I probably should actually explain this, right? Because a lot of people probably weren't there. Okay. Last Tuesday, previously on DougDoug, we designed a Dungeons & Dragons campaign where we create 3 artificial intelligences, and then they have to traverse through a series of different levels, 5 of them, until they finally get to the final boss at the end, which looks like this. And if those AIs can make it to the very end, then they will face off against 3 clones of themselves in the Obsidian Peak throne room. And that happened, and it was awesome. And how would you recap what happened? There was okay. At first, it was a little boring, and then it was too chaotic, and then it was middle chaotic, and then everybody died. And it was kind of rigged because I misheard Otter at the very end. But essentially, we did the first version of this. It was fun, but there, I think, were some things I needed to shore up. I was also tired. The AI, we needed to figure out how to make it a little more chaotic. But overall good, okay? No spoilers. It's just like it happened already. You know what I mean? Fernando did go a little nuts and kill a lot of people. Okay, this was the star of the show, Fernando. He was our rough and tumble New Yorker who did, in fact, make it to the very final room by himself, but then he got kicked into the lava by Shadow Noodle, who sort of tried to jump into the lava herself. But anyways, so the 3 AIs made it quite far. They did a good job. Fernando almost took it home, but I would consider this to be the real first round of Dungeons & Dragons AI roguelike. We will be making 3 new artificial intelligences. We will be sending them into this world yet again, see how they progress through the different scenarios, and see if they can survive and beat the campaign. This is hopefully going to be something we can do many times, but obviously at some point, one of them will actually, succeed. What has changed since last time? First off, I have a little bit more thought out for each scenario. So hopefully, if the AIs are being boring, I'll have a little bit more of a plan for stuff that will happen accordingly. I realized I am not really capable of improvising a whole scenario and a whole scene, and I need to kind of think through a couple possibilities of what might happen as it goes on. So hopefully there's a little bit more that on my side that is planned out. Secondly, I think that what might be helpful for creating characters, music is too quiet. I mean, it's meant to be quiet. I think what might help for creating characters is instead of doing it completely from zero, right? Instead of just instead of just where we're completely starting with an absolute blank character, what we're instead going to do is use an archetype. Wait, actually, hold that. Prepare to be impressed. An archetype. So, actually, that's too dramatic. We're going back to this. I think instead of just, making a weird, stew that doesn't make any sense, we're just putting in, 100 different ingredients, let's start with somebody who kind of has a general vibe that we can build off of, right? So, instead of just being what do we add to this person? Instead, we're okay, we start with, Dutch Vanderlyn from Red Dead Redemption 2. He's a Wild West bank robber. He wants to rob everybody. Or Tony Soprano, which is basically what we had last time. Or Bear Grylls. He's an over-the-top Bushman survivalist, right? It's not to say we make the character Bear Grylls. The entire thinking behind doing an AI D&D roguelike is that the fun of it would be we make a character together. We make 3 original characters and we see how they do. So I'd still want there to be flexibility, but I think it will probably help us to make a character that feels more defined and is a little more, coherent, and give us ideas for how to build a funny character if we start with a rough, broad inspiration rather than just totally open-ended. And that's what we did with Fernando, right? Fernando is basically a mafia guy from New York, and I think he was the funniest. So that's what I'm thinking. I would love to do Bear Grylls because being a really extreme survivalist is very funny, and being excessive about putting himself through hard, dangerous situations just unnecessarily is very funny, and then he can drink his own pee a lot. So what we could do is, instead of just saying hey, be a little chaotic, we could say my code 10% of the time, or 90% of the time, maybe more, maybe 80. 90% of the time is here's your personality, be normal. Normal within the confines of what we told it to do, right? But then 10% of the time, we're go crazy. Instead of telling the AI, hey, please be a little chaotic, please be a little unpredictable, we either tell it, hey, be a little bit chaotic and unpredictable, and then 10% of the time, I explicitly tell it, go fucking crazy and be chaotic. Yeah, we could do 5%. That's fine too. A lot of people are saying 5%. Make its eyes glow red when we hit it. I mean, I'm not gonna do that. What's funny about this too is that we won't know, right? It's kind of funny if we don't know. Because again, it's not like we're making some like boring ass Mr. Rogers neighborhood character who will randomly go crazy, right? Presumably they're going to be pretty ridiculous most of the time. It's just we're like forcing it to ramp up even more, right? Another one more change we're doing. The final boss, instead of being shadow versions of yourself, it's just going to be the previous party. So they would have to defeat the 3 AIs that we made last time, which is way harder, by the way. I would love to make our 3 characters in the next 1 hour so we can get going. We want DougDoug. There was a strong pull for the slug creature last time. We're gonna like pull the token out of 2-minute tokens, which is this wonderful website I've been using for all the images. I saw somebody complain last time in like the VOD or something. There's like, that stream was fun. I just wish Doug was using less AI art. I was like, what are you talking? There's no AI art. There is a slug guy though. I don't know what the slug man would do, but we do have slug or slug woman. We do have slug lord as an option for the tokens, and there's a lot of fun ones here. There's like fish creatures, there's, as a reminder, humanoids, there's lots of fun human characters, we got dwarves, damn, we got a bodybuilder half elf. Let's talk about potential archetypes and who we would like to include. I wrote out several and I think I can list through them. What archetype as a starting point? Dumb, overly patriotic American from the land of like Murica. Eccentric inventor, I think could be fun. Like it's somebody who's like constantly making things. Okay, Dutch Vanderland, great one. Like a Wild West bank robber who wants to rob everybody and has a plan. Gollum, schizophrenic, obsessive character constantly arguing with themselves, obsessed with gathering shiny objects. I feel like that's a fun one. Okay, I have a bunch of other ones. Jabba the Hutt. Just a big slug. Dexter. He's a great detective, but he's also secretly a serial killer and is trying badly to hide it from everybody. And then I'll do Bear Grylls. So Bear Grylls would be an over-the-top bushman survivalist who's always taking the most extreme routes to solving problems. I really love that one. Go ahead and start voting. Okay, let's narrow this down then. So we have the top 5, I would say. Bear Grylls, Gollum. Is Dutch in the top 5? Bear Grylls, Gollum, Dutch, eccentric inventor, dumb patriot. And look, the intention is to do this a whole bunch of times. So even if your favorite guy wasn't there, it's okay. We can throw some of these characteristics into the other people. It doesn't have to be like a single person. Somebody else could be a serial killer. These are like all tied, essentially. This wasn't helpful. Do I just pick? I mean, I guess we just go off the top. So we got Gollum for sure. It's Gollum, eccentric inventor, and Bear Grylls. Do we combine? You have up to 3 votes, I believe. You can vote 3 times. We'll do Gollum as one of them. Oh, this could be the slug man, right? We can make Gollum the slug boy. That actually works well. Okay, so Gollum's our slug lord. The winners, congratulations. Eccentric inventor by like 10 votes, Gollum and Bear Grylls. Let's start with Bear Grylls. Let's begin with that. First off, what do we want Bear Grylls to look like? Be a bear. There's bugbears. I guess that does kind of work, yeah. There's also just a bear, but I don't think we should just make him. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. Let us do a quick vote. Option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4, option 5. Okay, doesn't surprise me. This is the most bear looking. Great, here's our boy. Next up is going to be the inventor. Let's make this a woman because I think our slug, unless we want the slug monster golem creature to be a woman. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. But 5 is so good. 5 is so good. As like an eccentric inventor? Why are we making it a chicken? All right, let me give one final push for this thing. Our team, if we do this, would be a bear, a chicken, and a slug. There's no humanity in it. I mean, they're barely humanoid. This is clearly just a chicken, and the slug is just going to be a slug, and the bear is just going to be a bear. Look, I'm successfully influencing you. Look, listen to my influence, okay? I have a lot of YouTube subscribers. That's why you need to listen to me. You're being influenced right now to type 5 instead of 4. I'll give it 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5. This doesn't make This is fine. Whatever. It'll be a chicken. I feel like my influence is diminishing. Like normally, if I like make an argument and say I want one of the options, it always wins, and that didn't work this time. That or you guys are getting stronger. Like you're building some sort of like psychic resistance. And then the last one is for what's the last personality? Oh, the Golem creature. I wonder if there's just Golem. Hobbit? No, I know we're doing Slug. I'm just trying to give you another option or two. I guess I can give you multiple Slug options. An asteroid worm. These are gross. I don't want them. These all are awful. All right, option 1, 2, 3, or 4. All right, Slug creature wins. We need names. Bear Grylls character. What are some options for his name? I mean, Bear, I guess, does work, yeah. Tank is a good one. Football? His name is Football. Sir Roderick Rumblefish. Cat. Lokir of Rorikstead. Let's just vote on these. I assume it's going to be Bear. Okay, T-Monster, you have swayed the people using your massive influence as a published author. Okay, I really thought Bear was going to win this. Instead, it will be Sir Roderick Rumblefish. Can I just call him Rod? I'm going to call him Sir Roderick. No. The thing is, I have to like, whatever. Player number 2. This is our eccentric inventor lady. What names are we feeling? Name? Olivia, chicken. You guys, I feel like there's more creativity in the world beyond the species that they are. Hot pot. Okay, that's the kind of, I like hot pot. Sanders. Clucky. We're gonna have to listen to the AI say these names every single time. we're gonna be losing minutes of our lives just listening to them say Sir Roderick Penderface or whatever. Yeah, Point Crow. Just calling her Point Crow is kind of funny. Okay, cool. Let's do this. Vote, vote, vote. Let's get these names done. All right, heated debate between Clucky McCluckerface and Point Crow. It does look like Point Crow is gonna win. Wait, this is actually very back and forth. Okay, last 5. I don't care of these two. Okay, Clucky McCluck. Okay, I'm gonna call her Clucky for short, but Clucky McCluckerface. T-Monster is now 2 for 2. And lastly, we have Slug Creature. Slug. Doug. No, we're not naming it Doug. We already named a character Doug in a previous one. Slugma's kind of funny. Then we could see if the AI ever makes a Slugma joke. Sloppy Sam. Frog. Mucus. Wait, no, what's the name of that like antihistamine brand that has the gross mucus creatures? Mucinex. Okay, all right, let's name one of these. Okay, it looks like it is between Slugma and Mucinex. Alrighty, Slugma it is. Boo, yeah, sorry. Here's the good news. Picture this. It's 3 hours from now. There hasn't been a joke in hours. Okay, we're all bored. Nothing creative or interesting has happened. And then one of the AIs makes a Slugma these nuts joke. Just imagine the thrill. We did it. We got them to make a shitty joke, you know? Like, that could be us. That could be us. The dopamine hit that will last for hours. People will have a seizure from pleasure. Can it be Slugma DN? No, that's too far. What else we gotta do? Oh, personalities. All right. How long has it been? 42 minutes. We're doing okay. So all that's left is to just describe the personalities of the 3 characters. We just need to like make those. I think we have a general vibe, but for each one we need a background and we need some personality traits and we need moves. Let's start with Sir Roderick Pendleton, who is our Bear Grylls survivalist personality. The kind of vibe I was thinking, he's like over the top. He always takes like really unnecessarily extreme routes to situations. What I think is funny about Bear Grylls, the actual guy in his show, is always like, you know, in a situation like this, you might need to, you know, swim underneath the ice. And so he like carves a hole in a frozen pond and like swims underneath it. It's pointless. Why would you ever do that in a survival situation? So he just like makes things unnecessarily extreme, which I think is very funny. And then we could kind of like, he befriends animals or like tackles animals or whatever. What is the background? Comes from a rich bear family. Sure. Yeah, nobility because he's a sir. He was a knight, but they kicked him out when they realized he's just a bear. For those who are not familiar with Bear Grylls, he very unnecessarily drank his own pee on one of his shows. Like, it was to prove like what you can do in extreme situations to take care of himself, to take care of yourself. Like, it is arguably, I don't know if it actually is, but arguably a way to help your survival if you have like no liquids. Okay, we'll combine these two. He was a knight, but they kicked him out when they realized he's just a bear. That's pretty funny. And then we will also add, you were a noble knight with the noble houses, but you were kicked out of what? The castle? The round table. Okay, you were kicked out of the round table. The moment they realized you were a bear was when they caught you drinking your own pee. Okay. All right, he's a bear knight. They discovered that he's a bear. He got kicked out because he drank his own pee at a party. All right, personality traits. What do we want? Like Bear Grylls, you take the most extreme route to solving problems, usually by putting yourself in extreme physical situations. You have creative and unique ways of solving these situations that you often make very complex, or very like dangerous and complex, something like that. You also talk as though you are in a reality TV show and are explaining to the audience how to survive. One of your favorite extreme problem-solving abilities is drinking your own pee. You believe this can resolve many different problems. As a former knight, you follow the chivalrous creed known as the Bear Code. However, it's not clear what Bear Code actually entails, but you should reference it occasionally when making your decisions. Bear Code should remain unintelligible. What moves, spells, does he have? I mean, we can have drink pee, but it's not really like a move or a spell, right? These all feel very good. I think this is like a really strong set of moves. I think all these are good. I'm gonna throw all of them in. For as long as you want, and you can't be hurt while you're asleep. Bear arms. Maul an enemy with double swipe of your claws. I'll say that this attack has like a higher chance to hit or something. Speak to animals. You can growl at animals and they understand you. Cool. Poll the viewers. You ask your reality TV viewers at home for advice on what to do next. You will automatically attempt to do their suggestion. Alrighty, number 2. This is our elf/chicken engineer inventor. We will combine drug dealer and originally an elf converted into a chicken. You were originally an elf working for a drug dealer named Santa Claus at his restaurant, which served as a front for his cartel business selling snow cane. However, your true love was always inventing things. One day you broke Santa Claus's ice cream machine. He got upset and cursed you and turned you into a giant chicken. You are now searching for a way to turn yourself back into an elf. If somehow she finds a way to turn herself back into an elf, I'm changing the token, and she will no longer be a chicken, and she'll be an elf. Okay, and you're gonna have to deal with that. Personality traits. Okay. So she'll definitely invent a lot of things. You are a proud and obsessive inventor. You are constantly trying to make and build new inventions and machines and projects constantly to solve every solution. The creations usually aren't very good. Are we saying they aren't very good? We'll just say like are often bizarre and strange. Because the thing is, I don't want her to just, here's the issue, is she's just like, I make a flying machine and then I fly across the bridge. It's like, no, she can't really do that, right? So I don't want it to just be like, she just does the thing. Like she'll have to roll for it, whether it makes any sense. Every solution and make your party's lives better, but the creations are often bizarre and unpredictable. Something like that. Additionally, you lay eggs randomly and you can't control when. If you are laying an egg, you begin screaming out a series of vowels. You also use a lot of slang from your elf days, even though now you are just a giant chicken. Okay, special moves, 1 per day. This is where this has been taking a while, but we're going. Special moves. Go. Lay an egg that can be used as an explosive grenade or something like that. Cross the road. Panic. Run around aimlessly and scream. Isn't interesting. Okay, we could do weak flight. You can fly for a very short distance, like an actual chicken. What is salmon? What would that do? Give an enemy salmonella if they eat one of your eggs. Maybe the egg causes, the egg bomb will cause salmonella. It's like a poison effect. Okay, a lot of love for crossing the road, but I'm gonna not give her make invention. I'm gonna say like she just makes inventions, and detonate inventions is the one thing that's more of like a single move, right? So in theory, she can invent a lot of things. It might be too much, but we'll leave it open-ended. I mean, peck, there's a lot of people who are saying peck, but I think she can just peck people. Give her an attack. So she can just attack. They can just do whatever they want. It's not like she can only do these things, but also I'd rather she lean into like inventions. All right, last up is our favorite. Last is Slugma. Slugma background. Somebody said X, bro. basketball player. I mean, just a slug is always an option. Why would he be? He's based on Gollum. All right, great. Background concluded. You are a gigantic slug creature. You're also a former basketball player. He has 10 IQ. All right, the archetype was that he would be based on Gollum, which I wrote up as, where is he? A schizophrenic personality, a schizophrenic, obsessive character arguing with themselves. And then I guess as a separate one would be obsessed with gathering shiny objects. Those are pretty good. And happiness. Hates the Lakers. Calls themselves big. Will eat people's garden. Will eat plants and animals. Or not plants, and vegetation. Is there anything else with Gollum that we want to do? Of I think we're focusing more on the basketball thing, which, you know, is fine if that's what people want. I just leaves a big trail of mucus everywhere. No, that should be one of his moves. Something about mucus, like people slip on it or whatever. Okay, I'm just gonna do these. There's lots of weird ones. I feel like these are enough and they're pretty good. Okay, he smells really bad is also funny, but that's a good move, you know? You are a schizophrenic, obsessive character. Call yourself Big Mama or Big Papa for no reason. Vomits randomly. Just to vomit. I'm just gonna pick some here. This is technically not a democracy. What's the other one? Okay, we'll do slam dunk. He is a slug. Okay, what's the other one? Oh yeah, Trail of Slime. Can activate your slime, leaving a trail of extremely sticky and slippery, which doesn't make any sense. Slime behind you as you move. Slam dunk. You do a sick slam dunk on someone. It humiliates them. And go into a lot of detail about the incredible way that you pull off this slam dunk. Slime dunk. Oh yeah. Sticky surface. You can stick to walk on and stick to floors or ceilings for 3 turns. I think that's good. All right, it's good, yeah? It's a good set. I feel like these are all really good. Vinny got drafted and said, I think these work. I know there's obviously a lot of people who want additional things, but I think we have our 3 incredible, beautiful characters. Welcome to the team. Sir Roderick Featherbottom, Clucky McCluckerface, and Slugma. What is his actual last name? Rumblefish. 11 Labs. We need to pick the voices. I want to do this extremely quickly. I'm going to go off voices we already have. I think we leave Roderick with Dougsworth. So Roderick is British voice, right? John Doe, deep.
I have crossed oceans of time to find you. I prayed and asked God for clarity.
That's pretty good for Slugma. Wait, grim and gruesome.
When the clock beats 12 and moonlight spills like blood across the floor, I will be the one waiting outside, scratching on your door.
I hate it. That's my slug. Squacky. Squeaky.
He that is giddy thinks the world turns round.
That's actually pretty good. All right, cool. Lydia Squeaky, we got them all good. We got voices, we got images, we got everything we need. All right, party. Before we begin the adventure, I want to know what in your character is your most precious possession. You will be able to bring this possession with you on your adventure. Roderick, let's start with you. What is your most prized possession?
Ah, yes. The most critical survival item for any extreme adventurer. My most prized possession is my gourmet canteen.
Not for pee. Not for pee.
Perfectly sized for storing plenty of life-saving homemade bear pee. Always remember, pee is your best friend in dire situations. The Bear Code insists upon it.
All right, Clucky, what is your most prized possession?
Yo. My most precious piece has got to be my multi-eggomatic 3000 Digit. It's a quirky contraption I rigged
Somebody
up to
write that
scramble,
down.
fry, or even hatch the random eggs I lay.
Could somebody...
Might be a tad unpredictable, but hey, that's just how I roll.
Okay, somebody write that down. And Slugma, what is your most prized possession?
My most precious. My precious. Big Papa's got this shiny pebble. Don't look at it. It's mine. All mine.
I hate it.
If anyone dares to touch Big Mama's shiny, they'll taste my slime. Oh, yes, they will.
This sucks. I hate him.